In this lesson, we will be discussing information regarding access control and permissions. We will cover administrator and user accounts, local accounts, Microsoft accounts, and the importance of applying the principle of least privilege. Understanding how access control and permissions work on a computer system is fundamental to ensuring data security and integrity. Now, let's imagine this. You are the owner of a hotel and you want to make sure that only the authorized people who rented a room for the night can enter that specific room. So, you issue a magnetic key card to each person who checks in, and that card provides authorization for them to access certain rooms, such as hotel rooms that they rented, the shared pool area, and maybe even an executive lounge if they're Platinum Rewards members with your hotel chain. Well, this same concept is used on our computer systems, but instead of using a physical key card, we use usernames, passwords, biometrics, and other access control techniques. In the world of computers, the hotel is your system and the keys are the assigned user accounts and their authentication mechanism. Now, each user of the device is given a unique account. They use a password or another form of identification, like a fingerprint, to prove they are rightfully the owner of that account, similar to showing a key, and this serves as the authentication to grant them access to different parts of the system. Now, let's talk about privileges. Just like each key card can access different rooms in the hotel, each user account has different levels of access or privileges. For example, the first account created during the operating system setup is the most powerful one, similar to the master key used by the housekeeping staff at the hotel. This account is called the local administrator account. This local administrator account can be used to change system settings, install applications, and perform other managerial tasks. But imagine if you gave a master key to every guest. It would be chaotic and unsafe because anyone could access any room in the hotel that they wanted to access. Well, the same concept applies for computers. For everyday uses, we create standard user accounts instead to use. These standard user accounts are like keys that can only unlock certain doors. Standard users can't change the system configuration settings, and they are restricted to saving files within their designated user storage areas only, similar to how a guest can only put their suitcase inside their own rooms for storage at the hotel. Now, this brings us to a crucial security principle known as the principle of least privilege. The principle of least privilege means that a user should only have the minimum access rights needed to perform their job functions and tasks and nothing additional or extra. So, if you are a regular hotel guest, you might get access to your room and the pool area using your key card. But if I'm a Platinum Rewards member, I can get access to my room, the pool area, and the executive lounge on the top floor with my key card. This is the concept of least privilege in action because as a Platinum Rewards member, I need to be able to access the executive lounge, but regular hotel guests don't get that level of access. Another type of account most people are familiar with is the Microsoft account, which is a free online account that you can use to sign into a variety of Microsoft services, including Windows, Office 365, Xbox Live, and Skype. Your Microsoft account is a type of online account that allows us to access Microsoft services and apps across multiple devices and can be used in place of your Windows local user account if you have the proper configuration settings in place. Next, let's talk about a feature in Windows known as User Account Control, or UAC, that helps support the principle of least privilege. User Account Control is a mechanism designed to ensure that actions requiring administrative rights are explicitly authorized by the user. In our hotel example, this might be like the housekeeper trying to open your door to clean your room, but before they are able to open the door, they are asked a second time, "Are you sure you want to open Jamario's room to clean it?" If they enter a specific unlock code in addition to using their key card, then the door would give them administrative rights to open that door and perform the actions needed for the job. In this case, cleaning my room. The real purpose of UAC is to minimize the risk posed by malicious software gaining access to administrative privileges, and it does a good job of doing this. Simply put, user account control is like a security checkpoint, and it pops up when a task requires admin privileges, like installing new software or changing critical settings. To proceed, the user must either enter the administrator's password or confirm the action by clicking yes. If you see an icon of a small shield or near options in the control panel or menus, that indicates that action might prompt a UAC authorization dialog. Now, access control and permissions extend beyond just individual users. and can also apply to groups of users. In Windows, you'll find predefined user groups like administrators and standard users. When a user is added to a group, they inherit the permissions of that group, similar to how being part of the Platinum Rewards member program at a hotel gives you access to the executive lounge facilities. Now, let's talk about file and folder permissions. Just like you can control who enters a specific room, you can also manage who accesses or modifies specific files and folders on your computer. For example, you might want to give read access to certain files to one user and write access to another. You can set those permissions at the individual file level or at the folder level. Setting permissions at the folder level applies those privileges to all files within that folder, like declaring that all of the items in a particular room can be used by a particular guest. In Windows, these files and folder permissions are accessed by right-clicking on a file or folder, selecting Properties, and then navigating to the Security tab. From there, you can edit the permissions for different users and groups, allowing them to read, write, execute, or even take full control of files and folders. But remember, discretion is key when it comes to handling permissions. Always ensure that you're only giving out the necessary permissions to uphold that very important principle of least privilege. It's always better to err on the side of caution when granting fewer permissions than more permissions in order to keep your computer and its data safe. So to recap, access control and permissions in computer systems are really important to ensure data integrity. We compare these concepts to a hotel where user accounts are like keys granting access to specific parts of the system. Authentication is another important concept, and it simply means that we want to prove that we have the right to use an account. Privileges such as local administrator and standard user accounts also help us achieve security by emphasizing the principle of least privilege. And lastly, always give less than necessary. You'd rather have someone coming to you asking for more privileges than less.